The 2008 incident is considered the most horrific chapter in the history of Kamchatka, Russia. On one side were dozens of starving brown bears, and on the other were a few workers working in a geological camp. The unusual shortage of salmon led the largest predator in the forest to take direct aim at humans. In July, more than 30 bears settled around the camp. At first, they just rummaged through the garbage and food piles around. But their hunger grew, and then one day they attacked 2 guards. The workers saw with their own eyes how the hungry bears attacked 2 living humans. There were screams and then a terrible roar. After a while, the bears dragged the remains of the bodies and disappeared into the bushes. The people trapped inside the camp were shocked to see all this. They could not go out, nor could they help their comrades. The bodies of the guards were never found intact again. Only bloodstains, a few bones, and torn pieces of uniform were found lying on the ground. The bears tore at the human flesh as if it were the flesh of a wild animal. The workers hid behind windows and doors for days. Going out meant certain death. They would see the bears camped out, sometimes overturning garbage cans, sometimes coming close to the camp fence to breathe and growl. Every night, the sound of their footsteps and growls felt like the death knell to the workers. For those inside, these days and nights were nothing short of apocalypse. Food and water were limited, and everyone was in a state of anxiety, wondering when the bears would break in. Eventually, the news reached the state authorities and hunters were sent in by helicopter. They shot and killed some of the bears, which scattered the rest and ended the siege. But the 2 guards who were first devoured by the bears never returned in their entirety. Only traces and remains were found that indicated their deaths. According to the initial observation of the scene, the snow and soil in the northern part of the camp were found to be blood-stained. In a radius of about 20 meters, there were large footprints and deep marks of claws, which clearly belonged to large brown bears. About 30 footprints of different sizes were identified, which indicated that it was a very bloody mass attack. Where the first body was found, a large pool of blood was found at the site. Scattered bones, which were arm and thigh bones, and torn rags of the guard's uniform were found. The bones clearly showed teeth marks that belonged to a large carnivore. Among the remains of the second guard were a number of bloody gloves, shoes, and some fragments of the spine. Nearby, there were pieces of skin and muscle sticking to the ground. A rifle was found about 15 meters from the scene, the butt of which was bloody and broken. Rags of clothes and belongings were found scattered in many directions. According to eyewitnesses present at the time of the attack, several bears pounced on the guards at the same time and tore them apart in a matter of moments as they were buried among the bears. Human screams and the sounds of bones breaking could be heard amidst the growls of the bears. According to the workers, the 2 victims were collectively attacked by 25 to 30 brown bears, whose bodies were never completely found. Only the remains and bloodied belongings were found. According to eyewitnesses, the victims were immediately eaten on the spot, and the bodies were dragged in different directions. This incident changed the psychology of the workers for the rest of their lives. Many later said that when they still close their eyes at night, they remember the bloody snow and the bloodthirsty jaws of bears. This incident is still a sobering reminder that when the balance of nature is disturbed, a hungry beast begins to consider man as prey, and the walls of human protection crumble like paper in front of it.